UFC Vegas, Fight Club TV. I'm Kyle, your host. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Let's Chat video. This is the area we are going to have conversations during UFC 225 this Saturday, tomorrow. So we will get into all the conversation of things that we're betting, bets that we have placed, bets that we have coming up, the outcomes of those bets as well. It's been great. Like I've said in the prediction show, it was really been great. All the conversation we're having and really getting a feel for where everybody is as in their bets and what's kind of going on. So it's been great. Get involved if you've not yet done so. Subscribe to this channel. Get involved to the Let's Chat video. All of it happens down below in the comment section. So we will get into all of that as we go on through this weekend and through all day tomorrow, which again, I mean, honestly is a tremendous, tremendous card. This is probably one of the better cards that I've seen from complete bottom to top. Most of the time, we're just excited about the main card and the pay-per-view card and all the great things that are going on there. But here, I mean, on the Fight Pass, there's 4 fights there, and 3 of them are really great. I mean, Charles Oliveira versus Clay Guida, Joseph Benavidez versus Sergio Pettis, and Anthony Smith versus Rashad Evans. So those 3 fights, really great fights. All 3 of those main, the Fight Pass ones, really great fights. Those, and then it goes right into the prelims, which again, 3 or 4 really great fights there, and then moves right into the pay-per-view. So it starts at 6:15 tomorrow. I will be starting at 6:15 tomorrow as well. So I will be very active watching from 6:15 to whatever time it ends, and we will be active in there. So have a drink with me in the comment section, and as well as have some conversation. We will get into all that. We will also be getting into our Hero Parlay. This time we have 8 plays that we're going to be doing. 2 of those plays will be the plays that I discussed on the prediction video. If you want to see the entire prediction video for UFC 225, you can take a look at that on my channel. So we will get into the picks here. First things first, which we will be getting into, is the best bet. Won't dive into it because we talked all about that in the prediction video. But the best bet pick this week is going to be in the Overeem versus Blades fight. That is the best bet. Best bet again is 18 wins, 8 losses, plus 14.3 units for the year. And this is going to be a 3-unit play for me on the best bet, but it will be in my Hero Parlay, so we will have that there. I just really think, again, to very, very briefly go over it, really think again, Blades, wrestling, and the fact that he's never finished anyone in the first round, and the last 7 fights for Overeem, 2 of them were knockouts by Stipe Miocic and by Ngannou. Those 2 are heavy-handed fighters. This, I don't see that happening, and I think it'll be a little more feeling out process for Overeem. I just really think he's not going to come out there guns blazing. He knows this is a critical fight in his career, as well as he's going to have to worry about takedowns. So I just think it's going to be an interesting fight and a little bit slower paced, which will bring us right past that first round. So we've got Curtis Blades to win. Not to win. We've got Curtis Blades and Overeem on the over 1.5. So that is the first play that we have, the over at 1.5. The second play is the 1-unit play, and that's Tai Tuivasa versus who's he fighting again? Oh yeah, what's his name? Andrei Arlovski. He's fighting Arlovski, and this fight to me, Arlovski, he's, we don't have to dive into it again, it's on the prediction show, but he's a guy that is just really hanging on by a thread here when it comes to his chin, his basically into retirement. He is a pure fighter. He loves to fight. He is very, very good at it. He's been at it for an extremely long time. I just think his chin has not been tested in his last 2 fights, and this is going to be more, where it's going to be tested, and I think anywhere that you're going to be going, this fight is going to be heavy hands coming from Tuivasa. I think he's going to be the bigger guy by about 20 pounds. I just don't see this going very far. I think Tuivasa can put him away early. We're going to get him in the Hero Parlay. The other one we're going to be talking about is now talking about the main event and the co-main event. Starting with the co-main event is Colby Covington versus RDA. This one I've been back and forth with. And again, just to remind you all, the rest of these I talk about, I am not betting any of these straight. These are all in the Hero Parlay. Again, it's a small amount of money, looking to hit it out of the park, something fun we do here on the channel. But those other two, the over 1.5 rounds on the Overeem Blades and Tai Tuivasa, those are two plays that I'm doing straight. But to break down the co-main event, really the co-main event here, I was back and forth. I mean, really, I think this is a very tough fight to break down. I think it's a very, very tough fight to handicap, to really give another guy an edge over the other guy. You know, RDA has looked good since coming into this division. I think he feels rejuvenated. He doesn't have to really push himself and really drain himself to get into this division. So I think that there's a lot to be said about that. And his stand-up game, his leg kicks, how he's going to really outstrike Colby Covington, I think from the outside, is going to be his bread and butter for this fight. I think he's very strong, but going to the other side, Covington is just going to be relentless with his takedowns. Out of his last 9 fights, he has 41 takedowns. That's extremely a lot. I mean, he's averaging a very high number. So he's just able to really get guys to the ground, use his sensational wrestling to get a guy to the ground, control body movement, win some rounds, and really just kind of put a guy in a tough position to get some ground and pound. So I see Covington, as much as I don't want to cheer for Covington, I see Covington winning this fight. I think he can get this fight. I think it's gonna go deeper, which could be tough for Covington to deal with a 5-round fight, but I really believe that he's gonna be able to wear down RDA with his wrestling. So I'm gonna put him in the Hero Parlay. That's gonna be Covington in there. And now talking about the main event between Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker. This is another fight that I was back and forth with. Another reason why I'm not betting these straight. Really a great fight. I mean, the first fight, again, going back to it, Whittaker hurting his leg within the first, minute of the fight, and still able to push through and basically lost the first 2 rounds, and then basically the next 3 rounds was all Whittaker. And going off of the fact that, this should have been especially after hurting his leg, it should have been Yolo really dominating the wrestling, getting him to the ground, but somehow he was able to push out of that. Now, is it because of the fact that, Romero was 41 years old? Is he breaking down? His body doesn't look that way. I mean, he looks like a freak of nature, but what's happening there, and his power is there. I think the big change for him, and the reason why, again, I really backed off it, we touched on this a little bit at the prediction show, is the fact that now that Romero's working with John Jones. And I think that's a very big part of his game that is going to put him better mentally prepared for this. I think he's not going to exert as much energy as he's normally doing, looking for the knockout. And he is so athletic and his agility is off the charts that sometimes I think he just gets so excited about what his body is capable of doing. And I think that if he slows it down, I think that's why he had some success and he looked good against Rockhold. He didn't come out guns blazing. I think he's going to work on that front knee that has been repaired for Whittaker. But at the end of the day, saying all of that, at the end of the day, I think Robert Whittaker is such a sensational fighter. I think he's so well-rounded. He's got a lot of power, and he's got great takedown defense. So I think mixing all that together, I'm going to go with Whittaker on this. I think he's going to be able to pull it out. I think it's going to be the same kind of fight that we saw. I don't think a lot's going to be different there. I think it's going to be a lot of, Romero early, pouring it on, looking great. And as the fight continues to go on, Whittaker is going to be able to defend those takedowns. And I think he's going to be able to squeak out a victory. I think it's going to be close, but I think he's going to be able to squeak out the victory. So we have Robert Whittaker in the Hero Parlay. Now, the other one we're going to talk about is Holly Holm versus Megan Anderson. Not Megan. Megan Anderson. So in this fight here, really a great fight, and looking back at these two girls, I mean, you've got Holly Holm, who is a world-class striker. She's done, sensational in her career as a as a combat sports athlete, I should say. But going back to the fact of what she's gone through, I mean, she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's 1-4 in her last 5 fights. But taking that away, the fact that she's actually fought literally the elite of women's MMA as a whole. She's fought all of them. I mean, she really has fought all of them. I mean, when you're looking at some of these, Raquel Pennington, Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate, Shevchenko, Durandamy, Correia, I guess you can somewhat put her up there, and then Cyborg. I mean, I can't blame her for losing. I can't really blame her for having losses on her record. It's just, to me, a lot of it is the fact that, she yells before some of her strikes. Sometimes she strikes and she's very far away. She starts her strikes very far away from her opponent. Things like that, and it gives them time to counter. And things like that sometimes don't make me feel as good about her. And sometimes she does look timid. Sometimes she's almost at the point where she's not sure what to do. And I think that this kind of fight where you got Anderson, who's going to be, Holly Holm is 5'9". Anderson's 6 foot. She's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. She is a tough bully when she's in there. Obviously, she's never fought anyone near the caliber of Holly Holm. So that's the big, asterisk next to this entire conversation, is the fact that she hasn't come close to that. The price on her, on Anderson, I think is pretty good at plus 190. I think that's pretty good. I can't really, I think the line should be a little bit closer, but you've got Holly Holm, who, again, has fought such high-level opponents that is where it's very tough to handicap. Another reason why I'm not betting this straight. I think it's a very hard fight to handicap, when I really like to see, and again, this is just my opinion. I don't bet Bellator. I bet the UFC, and I bet more of fighters that are on the top of the card, or main event fights, or at least pay-per-view fights, because of the fact that there's a little more body of work that you can break down. That there's a little bit at that level where a lot of times it's tough, I think, for anybody to really handicap a guy that's maybe not as good, maybe not as crisp, maybe hasn't fought in that level of competition. A lot of that sometimes is difficult to really break down. So in this kind of situation too here, Megan Anderson, I mean, there's been a lot of hype behind her. There's been, they've really been pushing her brand. She hasn't gotten into the cage in the octagon yet, in UFC yet. So this is a big step up for her. But I think the way she's been in interviews, she seems very calm. She seems very relaxed. And I think Holly Holm knows that this is a make or break for her. I mean, and I think that's not a good thing. I think her being in her own head is not a good thing. I think Anderson can really exploit a lot of the strengths of herself against Holly, and she's great in the clinch. And I think she's going to bully Holly around, and I don't really see Holly being comfortable for 3 rounds. I don't know if it's going to be a finish. I don't really see a finish here, but I see Anderson pulling out a decision victory, so we're going to put her in the Hero Parlay. The next one we're going to talk about is CM Punk versus Mike Jackson. This one is a fun one. I kind of threw this one in there. It feels like a stay away as a bet, but CM Punk, I'm going on lines of the fact that the UFC wants this guy to win, and if it goes to a decision or of any of that kind of thing, I really believe that they're gonna push it more towards CM Punk. Or, Mike Jackson is apparently a photographer, MMA photographer. He doesn't really fight fully. It's not like, CM Punk is some, high-class striker. But it's just the fact that, I'm going with the storyline here. I'm going to go with CM Punk in this fight. It doesn't feel good even saying that, but again, it's in a Hero Parlay. It's plus 190. I think and the only reason, again, I'm going with it is because I think these guys are pretty similar, and the fact that you got a little bit of hype behind CM Punk, you got that going, and you're getting plus odds, nice plus odds. I'm going to put him in there. It's a main card fight for the Hero Parlay. I'm going to put him in there. So CM Punk is in the Hero Parlay. I'll tell you, Claudia Gadelha, I'm going to put her in. I think that this is stylistically a good matchup for her, but she is such a beast. I mean, it's not like Esparza is some walkover, but I think she's going to be able to get the victory. I'm not going to get too detailed in that, but I really feel that she's going to be able to get the victory there. So we've got Claudia Gadelha in the Hero Parlay. And the last one is one that actually I like as an upset opportunity here. Did not take it straight. I will be full disclosure here. He did not take it straight, but I think maybe I will, but there is just an opportunity here for Sergio Pettis to win. Benavidez coming off of an injury, he's been out. A lot of that, I just like the skill set and the well-roundedness of Pettis. I know being taken down is something that he's been exploited, that he has not been able to do that well. I think that he's worked on that, and I think getting plus 200, getting nice odds on him, I think is a pretty nice price for a guy that has, with Benavidez, who's been out. He has been, he's definitely a top contender within that division. But I think this is a great opportunity for Sergio Pettis to pull out a victory. But who knows? We will see. Sergio Pettis will go in the Hero Parlay. So those are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight parlay. Hopefully we hit this one out of the park. But again, our 2 plays that we are doing for straight bets is going to be the best bet, which is the over 1.5 rounds in the Overeem Blades fight. And that's a 3-unit play for me. And Tai Tuivasa, we have a 1-unit play on him to knock out Arlovsky. That is the play. Those are the plays. So let me know what you guys think, what you guys have, what you're betting, if you're doing some big parlays. This again is the area where we will all have conversations at UFC 225. All of what's kind of going on. Get involved. If you have not yet got involved, I highly suggest you get involved, have conversations. Like I've said, the more that we talk in there, the more conversations we have, the more that you guys like these videos, the more of the positive things that are going on this channel, the more it's going to grow. And I definitely credit a lot of you guys that have helped this out and helped this channel grow. So I really appreciate all of that. Normally we do the bet review show the day after the fights, which is normally on Sunday. I am actually leaving for a business trip early on Sunday, so I will not be back until Tuesday, possibly Wednesday. So I will get the bet review out Tuesday or Wednesday. That video will be out then. How to do a couple things, so we will take care of that. So if you have not yet done so, subscribe to the channel. And this is Mr. UFC Vegas, Fight Club TV.